have a go. There were a lot of people frustrated with the way they played in the Leinster final last year. That was more about damage limitation than actually having a cut off Dublin, and we'll see what way they set up. They are flooding extra forwards back into defence as Paul Flynn gets through for the first point of the 2016 Leinster final. It's come inside 20 seconds, and even with players getting back to clog up the space, that's not a good sign for Westmeath. Kieran Martin. Jerry Egan is pushing forward the Westmeath midfielder. That's in towards John Heslin. Egan is there with them. Is this the goal that Westmeath desperately need? They've targeted three of them, but he takes a point instead, Jerry Egan.
Significantly, the first high ball into the Dublin full-back line, not dealt with confidently. He had a momentary opportunity to take a goal, got back on his weaker foot and put it over the bar. Got some return at least from it.
Kieran Kilkenny, Michael Darrell McCauley, Callum McCormick, sweeper number 1, keeps him out. The ball back with Kieran Kilkenny now. Kevin McManaman with the shot, and with the point, his first.
Yes, he brings a lot of order that time too. An awful lot of frantic work by Dublin. I thought myself that Michael Darrell McCauley should have got a free in, but when the ball came to McManaman, he just had that poise to take a little bit of to take a moment and stroke a beautiful kick over the bar.
They say a lot of the elite level players, we don't listen to media, we don't read the newspapers, but anybody who had an opinion on this game all week was telling them they were unbackable, 100-1 on favourites. They were going to win no matter what they did. They're leading by 5 points to 4. We've 10 minutes to go to half-time. John Small gets away from McCormick. Callum McCormick with Jerry Egan. There's no foul, and Bernard Brogan from an impossibly tight space is able to just shift the ball over the bar. That's a lovely finish. Classic Bernard Brogan execution. Very little time, very little space. And Jim Gavin's team, they just have not performed at the level and the standard that we expect. Maybe that might come in the second half, but you've got to give Westmeath a massive amount of credit for getting to this point of the match in this sort of shape. And Egan launching that in. Stephen Cluxton's in under it, but it's gone over the bar. And that's the point of the game so far. That's a stunning score from the Westmeath captain.
He took the responsibility and had the skills to execute it.
Hasn't scored. Too many of them have, really. Kevin McManaman did get one in the first half. Kieran Kilkenny, Bernard Brogan, yard or two further away from Killian Daly, and that is more like it for Bernard Brogan, and for Dublin more fluency about that. 3 without reply now. He's got 2 since the match restarted. Bernard Brogan, lovely sidestep from Bernard Brogan, and that deserved the score. His movement from one side and then to the other, you're going to see it again. Just watch this, it's glorious.
It's so simple. Bernard Brogan just gets on the end of a Philly McMahon move, doesn't take a step, just looks up and strokes the ball over the bar, and that's the quality the guy has.
John Small, Paddy Andrews, and Dermot Connolly. No pressure on him, and you know the end result from that situation if they don't get tight enough on Dermot Connolly.
Well, that's the thing, it's becoming somewhat of a possession at the moment. Just the angles of running are superb. Connolly, when he gets it, it doesn't matter which foot he's on, he can put it over the bar. But you know, just at the moment, I'm just afraid we're starting to go into a time of the game and it's just going to be one-way traffic.
Now here's Brian Fenton. Westmeath have kept Dublin out for a goal. The points have been sailing over in the second half, but Johnny Cooper has stayed forward. Bernard Brogan, there is a goal. Bernard Brogan from close range, and you could feel and hear the anticipation around the stadium as Dublin committed players forward and Westmeath looked exposed, and they were exposed by Bernard Brogan.
The execution was clinical, and again, in game 7 match for Dublin. But one thing I would say about Westmeath, I take my hat off to them for going and having a punt at it in the first half.
There's Kevin McManaman, they're cut apart again. McManaman, what a fabulous finish, and that is the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
2:18 to 9.
Yeah, delighted for McManaman there. I think he's been superbly effective today, very underrated. And that kind of, in a sense, caps a fine performance for him. Just watch, precise finish into the top corner. Goalkeeper Darren Quinn could do nothing about that. Wonderful movement off the ball. Poise, accuracy, clinical finish.
There is the whistle. It is over, and it's Leinster title number 55 for Dublin. 6 in a row for this team. But for the second year in a row, they have beaten Westmeath in the provincial decider, and they really did their stuff in the second half, pulling away from Westmeath with ease. The full-time score: Dublin 2-19, Westmeath 10 points.